as the day begins to end, left here dabbling in sin, and through the chaos of your eyes, I saw an angel from within. I asked the healer, throw the doors of imagination open wide, throw the doors.
Okay, so this is really lucky. Great timing. I'm standing there with a guy. This is Paul from United Utilities.
Hi everybody.
And it's a water board actually that look after the domestic water supply for the estate and for the town. Is it for Middleton?
Yeah.
And I just come up, and because normally, as I was explaining, I think earlier, the fence around. You can't come up here anymore. And we used to come up here and play as kids and stuff. And the gate was open, and he was doing his maintenance, and we got talking. He's a musician like me, guitar collector.
Yeah.
And we got talking about that, and he kindly let me come up here before he locks up to a bit of nostalgia on the top of this hill. So thanks a lot, Paul. That's really great. And I was telling him a story. The story that I was telling him was the very first time I ever saw a UFO when I was up here with a school friend called Dave Barnes. And I'll just quickly take you through it really fast. So I was standing pretty much where me and Paul are standing right now, and there was a lot less cloud that day, but there was a little bit of cloud. And up at about 11 o'clock from where I'm standing, there was some cloud. There was a bright light from inside the cloud. So I was joking to Barney, and I just said, "Hey Barney, it's a UFO." And as it was drifting through the cloud, we started running along this top here, laughing, and I expected it to be a helicopter, or I don't know what I expected, but I couldn't hear anything. That was the thing. I couldn't hear any sound. And then as it came out of the cloud, it just hung motionless at like 45 degrees like that in the sky. And I wouldn't say what the altitude was, maybe no more than a couple of thousand feet, I would think, because I think the cloud was about the same, I think, as it is now, so maybe a few thousand feet. It's hard to say. I'm not very good at estimating things like that, but it hung in the sky motionless, like no sound, at 45 degrees. Then it rights itself on its axis, right? So it's on like 0 degrees. Then the light goes from the top to the bottom and to the top again, which suggests to me that it did a 360-degree barrel roll in midair without any sound at all, turned about 90 degrees so that it was facing the horizon where you can see those wind turbines in the distance that weren't there back then, and it shot off over that horizon in seconds flat, without so much as a sonic boom. So that really ignited my interest in the subject. I was down at, it was John Menzies then.
Right.
John Menzies down Middleton, and I think 3 paperbacks, and that set me on a journey. And I've been interested and studying that subject ever since. And that was in 1974, in the summer of 1974. And one thing I should mention as well is that we were running across we ran across as the light was in the cloud. Down there, there's a field, a farmer's field. There's about half a dozen horses in that field. And as soon as that light started coming out of that cloud, they started going absolutely berserk. So they were kicking and up and neighing and making a fuss. And then when it shut off, they all calmed down again. So that was definitely something very strange. And I was used to seeing, I was explaining to Paul before, I used to go to the airport all the time. And I was used to seeing planes at daylight and at night coming in, landing lights, VC-10s, DC-10s, Boeing 707, I think it was back then, 707, 727, Viscounts, all those passenger planes at Manchester Airport, and this was nothing like that. Didn't make a sound, and I don't think I think you'd be hard pressed finding something today that could do that. But he very kindly let me come up to take a few pictures, and great for this vlog, because otherwise I would have been telling you that story from the other side of that fence down there, because it's all. And it makes you wonder why. It's sad that they have to do that, really. But he was explaining to me that they get vandals trying to break in, and one thing you can't have, obviously, is lunatics contaminating the water supply. Or putting something in it.
Yeah.
And
the regulators. The regulators are very tough as well.
Right.
So we've got to satisfy those that we're looking after everybody's water.
Yeah. But it's I was here when this was actually being built as a child. I was coming up here on my chopper bike.
Yeah.
And
worth a fortune.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I was coming up on my rally chopper, and lying around here were just like loads and loads of huge, I want to say 8-inch main, but it was probably bigger than 8-inch main actually. It was I think it was it was bigger than 8-inch main because you could climb in it. You could get in it. You could actually get in the pipe. And they were laying all that down, and they said then it was a reservoir because the old reservoir was uncovered. It was an old brick one, just about 1,000 yards that way, over towards that way, behind the school, and that just had a little bit of barbed wire fence around it that couldn't keep the dog out.
I'm learning.
Yeah, and that's where that was the old reservoir.
Yeah,
and it was open to the skies. It was just all brick sides, and which is kind of really strange, really, because we all drank the tap water.
Yeah.
And then it was just open. I don't think there was any filters on it or anything. I don't know what the hell we were drinking back then, but this was the brand new. I think I want to say it went up around about 68, 69. This.
Right.
Because I hadn't had my chop along, and I remember I was small enough to be able to get in the. Might have been a bit later actually. Might have been certainly. No later than 1970.
Most of these trees wouldn't be here then, either, would they?
No, there were a lot. No, you could see the field quite clearly.
Fields,
yeah. I think the school have bought some of it, haven't they?
Yeah.
At the far side there, so they can sell off there.
And obviously, all the new houses, they weren't there.
Yeah. But I loved it up here. I used to bring my dog up here, and we'd come even in the rain. It was great in the rain. We'd come up here, and you can see Bury in the distance there, Haywood over there.
And those memories, they last a lifetime, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially that UFO sighting. You remember that as though it was yesterday.
As though it was yesterday, yeah. Especially when you're standing here.
Yeah.
It was, and it was the beginning of something. It was the catalyst of an interest that I still have, because now we know that they are actually real. The only question we've got now is what are they? That's the only argument, is that what actually are they? But even the United States government now have admitted that they're real. They are real. They're those Navy pilots that film those Tic Tac things over the ocean. And then just the other day, there was some naval ship filming at night with infrared, filming pyramid-shaped objects flying around. So that was official Navy footage. So,
and who knows what the Bermuda Triangle's all about?
No, well, yeah. I mean,
are they doing something that's created that?
I think. I favour the notion that the world has natural spots in it where you have, for some weird reason, you have high concentrates of electromagnetic energy, and it causes weird things to happen.
Of course it does.
I think I've had experiences up at Loch Ness that are really strange, similar. It seems to be like where they've got large bodies of water as well. Water seems to attract. So maybe it was the water under our feet. I don't know, but now we know that they are actually real. I mean, we used to get called loonies for suggesting that they were real, weren't they? But now we know that they are definitely real. But we don't know. The argument now is, well, what are they? Where are they from? Exactly. Are they Russian? Are they Chinese? Are they Iranian? No, no, not at all. And I think they've been here a long time. I think they've got bases under the ocean. I think they've got bases on the moon. I think they've been here a long time, but what they are and where they come from and what they're doing, we still don't know.
Based on your experience of that particular day, we just haven't got the technology today.
No.
Nowhere near.
No.
To describe what happened that day.
No. I mean, you talk about them all about retro engineering, a lot of this stuff, like getting hold of it and retro engineering it, and a lot of the stuff that's coming out of the research facilities that gave us the stealth bomber and the Blackbird and all those. But that was 1974, and I'd seen Cessnas, I'd seen pretty much all the major passenger airplanes, I'd seen helicopters, you name it. Going in my foray, going to the airport at the weekends with Tony Dale, I'd seen them all, and I'd never seen anything like that, and I don't believe that we had anything like that. And when I checked with the airport, they're like, well, no, we haven't got any anomalous radar sightings for that day. And I'm saying, could they be testing something? And they're laughing at me, saying, what, over civilian airspace? No, you don't test military. You don't test military technology, secret military technology over North Manchester civilian airspace. Where people like you can see it.
Yeah. One of the fastest crafts we had then was the Concorde, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Broke the speed.
Well, officially.
Speed barrier, yeah.
Officially. Well, that's the thing, is like, from where we're standing, above our heads, a couple of thousand feet maybe, to where those turbines are over there in the distance, it was literally seconds. It was gone in seconds. Now, conventional propulsion, you'd expect a sonic boom, because that had to be above Mach 1. It had to be. But there wasn't any sound at all. There was no sound coming from it at all at any point of the encounter. So I don't know. Right, well, I have to push on. It looks like it's going to rain actually, so I don't want to get caught in that. Thanks very much for that, Paul. That's brilliant. Thanks. Well, that was a very cool encounter, and most unexpected. That was very lucky, because as you can see, this is where I was going to film from, and you can see the fence, and that was what I was prepared to do, is to film from here. But then we actually got to go to the top, and that is absolutely brilliant. Nice of Paul to take the time out of his busy work day, take me up there and film. Wonderful.